Hi guys, welcome back to today's lesson. Today we're going to be talking about fats. So let's see. So far we've spoken about carbohydrates, we've spoken about protein, and today we're going to be speaking about fats and oils. Remember that in our first class we said everything is joined together. So there's an intertwining of the food types. So we have foods that you think should be fats, but they're actually a mixture of fats and protein. An example of such foods are nuts and seeds. Unfortunately, I do not have any nuts to show you, but I'm sure you all know granules, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds. Those are the kind of seeds we are talking about. And then when we talk about fats, we're also talking about poultry skin and fatty cuts of meat. So sources of sources of fats examples include plant and animal. Plant sources, nuts and seeds. Animal sources, poultry skin and fatty cuts of meat. Now there are also foods that have carbohydrates, but they are also fats. Such foods include your pastries and your muffins. And those that are called the whole grain type, they actually have minimal fats. So why do you need fats? Why don't I just eat my carbohydrates and be like, I have energy and I'm fine? But then you have to also eat fats because fats are important in the body. Why are fats important in the body? So fats are important because they are a good source of energy, just like carbohydrates. They do something we call insulate and cushion your organs. So if you know somebody who is an electrician, they're the ones who use this insulate word a lot. But let's just stick to cushioning. They kind of protect your organs. And they help in the transport of fat-soluble vitamins. Now, too much fat, especially around your waist circumference, is not good. And it's related to chronic diseases. Fats also make up your cell membranes. They help make hormones, and fats make you fuller for longer. So fatty meals lead to delayed emptying, and therefore you have increased exposure of acid to esophagus. That's when you eat fatty foods, right? They take longer to digest, so it takes more time, and then because of that there's delayed emptying, and due to the production of acid in the stomach, because the stomach thinks, oh, we are not done yet, so it keeps producing acid, and that's what sometimes causes what you guys call the acid reflux. Now we're talking too much fat around the waist area. So this is it. This is basically from here is your waist. So you don't have to look like me, but you're not supposed to have too much fat around this area. And of course we're going to be talking about sources of fats. We all think we know the sources of fats, but I am not here to burst your bubble. I'm here to tell you that yes, you are right. This, whatever you think is the source of fat, is actually the source of fat. So but we have types of fat now. We have the saturated fats, the unsaturated fats, we have the trans fats, we have the polymono unsaturated fats. But in order not to confuse you, we're just going to tell you, this is it. But yes, plant-based fats are mainly poly and mono unsaturated fats. And these fats are good fats in a sense. But you see the trans fats, those you should try to avoid and limit. Trans fats include fats that are modified unsaturated fats. One, they are used to extend shelf life and to solidify liquids. So things like margarine, this is a trans fat. I just got this for the purpose of this video to show you a trans fat. And also, trans fats are inflammatory. They lead to inflammation, so they cause some kind of sickness, and you should try to limit. If you like this one now, it says the serving size is 1 tablespoon. I would take half tablespoon. That's what I mean by limit your intake. And if you want to know fats that have trans fats, you have to look for hydrogenated. This doesn't actually say hydrogenated, but let's see. I lie, it does. So when you look at the ingredients, it says a blend of intensified and partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. No, sir. Okay, moving on to saturated fats. Saturated fats are usually animal fats, so the skin on poultry or fat on meat. And there are some plant fats as well, which are like palm and coconut oil. Coconut oil. This is also coconut oil, but this was almost finished, so I didn't use this. But this is coconut oil. So your coconut oil and your palm oil, you see, they are examples of saturated fats. And saturated fats raise your LDL cholesterol. The LDL cholesterol is the cholesterol that we classify as bad cholesterol. This is used to assess the risk for heart disease, and saturated fat increases the LDL. Now, does this mean that coconut oil is bad? Does this mean that palm oil is bad? No. It means that you should take them in quantity, or in a quantity that they are not going to destroy or damage or increase your LDL cholesterol. So there is no safe upper level for saturated fat. The ideal thing is to replace saturated with unsaturated. Also, the bummer of it all is that even though we say coconut oil is a saturated fat, there are two types of coconut oil. So there is the virgin oil, which is in its natural form, and there's the cold pressed or the refined one, which loses its natural form. And it increases LDL cholesterol, but on the other hand also it increases HDL cholesterol. Our HDL cholesterol is the good cholesterol. What it does is that it recycles something called plaque. Plaque is something that is formed as a result of fats and oils accumulating in the body. So it recycles it, uses it, and makes it good. Low levels of HDL is usually associated with disease. So when we talk HDL, good cholesterol, low level might cause disease. LDL, bad cholesterol, high level, not good. So for you to increase your HDL, you have to exercise. If you are overweight, you have to lose weight. If you are a smoker, you have to stop smoking, and you have to have moderate alcohol consumption. Don't be like some of my friends that will say, oh, I'm drinking only a beer. Honey, beer is alcohol too, my dear. So don't go and drink what do they say, a whole case of beer and be like, it's just beer. No, baby, it's not just beer. Beer is alcohol. Now we're moving on to palm oil, which we are known in Nigeria for. So palm oil is a saturated fat of plant origin, and we're talking palm kernel oil versus palm oil. It increases your total cholesterol. Your total cholesterol includes your LDL, your HDL, and it increases your LDL cholesterol. And I won't say don't use palm oil. I would say moderation is key in anything you're doing. We're going to talk about, we already spoke about trans fat. We're going to talk about polyunsaturated fats. So these are mainly fish and plant sources, and you can use them. You can use them to replace saturated fats. They have reduced heart disease risks. They are also anti-inflammatory, so they prevent inflammation, and they are sources of essential and fatty acids. Remember that anything we say is essential is something that the body cannot produce on its own. So the body needs help to produce it. So what are examples of polyunsaturated fats? We're talking about our omega-3 and our omega-6. There's also something called alpha linolic acid. which is also a plant form of omega-3. So these are polyunsaturated fats, which is why you see people will tell you, oh, eat fish, because omega-3 is found in salmon, trout, and mackerel. So once you eat this, you don't necessarily need the supplements of omega-3 to, to make things work, to have essential fatty acids. Then we're going to talk about the monounsaturated fats. They are mainly plant sources. So we're talking about Mediterranean diets like avocado. That's why you see that people are going crazy these days about avocado. There's avocado, what's that? Avocado smoothie. If you leave them, they can even do avocado cake. Like, I'm not sure that hasn't even happened. But yes, there's avocado. You can even use avocado to replace your butter. Use avocado in bread. So all those things are considered healthy because monounsaturated fats lowers your total cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, which is your LDL, and something we call triglycerides. Now, there is a table I have here, something called smoke point of oil, and we have classified it into, we have the one for butter, for coconut oil, olive oil, different types of olive oil, and for different types of coconut oil, and for avocado. From this table, actually, the best is avocado oil. But I'm pretty sure avocado oil is expensive, so you have to probably go for something that is in the next column. Now, what I would do is to probably take a diagram or get a picture of this and send it to you guys in the class. All you have to do is to remind me of this so that I will know that you watched this particular video. You need this because you need to know what to substitute instead of avocado oil, since avocado oil can be very expensive. Smoke point of oil, though, is defined as the point where fat is broken down into its individual components. So at the point where it breaks down into glycerol and free fatty acids, that's the smoke point of oil. And then refined oils, so when we say olive oil refined, usually have a higher smoke point as opposed to the unrefined oils. Now, repeated heating leads to lower smoke points and it leads to toxic compounds. You should keep your temperature to be less than 190 degrees Celsius or 374 Fahrenheit. Okay. Now we have some fat replacements and fat substitutions, and you would have heard people talk about low carb, high fat diets. We're going to talk about all that in the next video. We're also going to talk about the 7 sides of your fats and your oils. So this is cooking oil, pure vegetable cooking oil right here, and as you saw before, our coconut oil. And I also showed you the margarine, which I said if you must eat, you have to eat less of it. Remember, to know trans fat, you have to look for hydrogenated, which we found in this margarine. So I'm staying away, definitely staying away. And the butter, this. So the butter reads that it has less saturated fat than butter, and this doesn't have hydrogenated on it, so this is definitely safe. So it has saturated fat, polyunsaturated, we're talking omega-3. We should form the habits of reading our ingredients. It really helps, especially if you know what you are looking for as well. All right, guys, so that's it for fats and oils. We'll continue in the next video. Don't forget to remind me about the smoking point or smoke point of the oils so I can send it to you. All right, so bye. I'll see you soon. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I love questions, I love answering them, I love taking them. Please do not hesitate to ask. Okay, guys, see you in the next class.